What's up, everybody? Circus here, coming at you with this week's Battle Phase Rewind, and it was quite the tournament yesterday. Of course, we got Rye here because he was the guy that cast the whole thing. How are you doing, buddy?
Hello, I'm doing good. Just came off of Battle Phase pop-up Tuesdays with Restar.
Oh, nice, nice. How'd that one go?
It was pretty good. Lots of memes. And then Karakuri won it all. It was going to be Element Saber, but whoops,
Oops.
didn't work out.
How is that matchup? Is that favored for Element Saber, or is that favored for Karakuri?
It was interesting. So the Karakuri player didn't play True Nade. He actually played Econ and TTH.
Oh,
And then
okay.
the Element Saber player was playing Endless Trap Hell. So it's very interesting. Usually it's
Interesting.
Element.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually Element Saber favored because Element Saber literally Malehu just stops any synchro plays. But because they're all both different, it was just different all around. You know, it was so cool to. It's like weird to see a Samurai Destroyer swing into Casitas and then activate Treacherous Trap Hole to destroy Casitas. It's like okay.
All
So
right then. That's not something you see every day. Maybe we should do a video on that one.
yeah, maybe
But we're not doing that right now because we're going to be doing it on Battle Phase Monday. And what was that, 101? Battle Phase 101.
101.
All right.
That's right.
Why don't we take a look at what happened in the overall breakdown? I'm guessing it's going to be what we see just about every week. I'm just going to guess. I actually already know. But I'm going to say Invoke Neos at the top or E-Sabers.
It's some Invoke deck. 100%.
Karakuri!
Oh, what the? Yeah, so Karakuri has been breaking hearts and taking names. This deck is on everyone's mind right now. Not a surprise at all. If I'm not mistaken, though, didn't they all die out by like top 16? Did any of them enter? Was that Monday? Or was that last Monday?
Yeah, they
That
were
might have
all
been
gone by
last
top 16. Yep.
Okay, so today obviously Karakuri won on Tuesday. But yeah, Karakuri, it's an OTK deck that can side tool very easily. Clearly, we've seen the True Nades, we've seen the Econ, we've seen TTH. We've seen some people play Restart, some people not play Restart, and you know it's an OTK deck that has access to all those cards, can draw them relatively well, and yeah, where it's almost KC Cup time, so everyone's looking for that deck that they want to play, and OTK decks are usually the #1 choice for KC Cup. That or Invoke, which, you know, is also kind of an OTK in a way.
Well, it kind of seems like Karakuri still, like the problem it had before when it was around is it's got kind of a large engine. So yes, it has those techs, but there's not as many of them. So they're really drawing cards here trying to get into those techs, it seems like.
Yeah, a little bit. It's kind of like even like I guess it's kind of good because it's like if you have Samurai Destroyer, for example, you know your techs are going to do more damage than like like your TTH is going to work out. Like I said earlier, it works on Casitas and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, yeah, you do kind of need to actually make sure you get into those, and like your anatomy isn't drawing you more Karakuri cards when you've already got the whole board set up for Karakuri. So and people are just bringing system down again. This deck does not deal well with the system
Oh, I
down.
could imagine.
And yeah, like it's more of an offensive deck. So running things like Lancia in it to protect yourself from system down is just such a pain in the ass to do.
Okay.
So,
Now
yeah.
I do see Shiranui Grass on there. What did you see that deck at all?
Yeah, Sakura was playing it, I believe. I think he played it today too. But yeah, it's basically just the 30 card Shiranui with the whirlwind and everything like that. You play the needlebug nest with one grass, and yeah, you just try to get the whirlwind in there. You try to get your samurai on the board, and pop with the samurai and stuff like that. It's good, but it's not as good as like normal Shiranui, I would
Right.
say. Yeah, it's
Okay.
just normal Shiranui is just better.
I see Evil Eye on there. I'm assuming they're going to be rogue deck status.
Oh, for sure. Oh, Evil Eye is just it's such an underrated deck. I mean, I feel like I say this every time Evil Eye shows up. It's so underrated. It's one of those decks that like I feel like no one reads their effects. They always misplay game one, and then like, okay, now I know what to do against Evil Eye, and then they get into game two, and it's just hard for them to do anything. Surprisingly, they actually have a very good matchup against Karakuri, and because of the rise of Karakuri, decks like Element Saber and Evil Eye will rise with them because they're their natural counters.
Right.
Evil Eye defeat. If you go first, you set up the Eye of Selene and an Evil Eye monster such as Medusa. You can return 2 cards back, and with Karakuri, if you return their normal summon, they're pretty screwed. Like they only have one actual normal summon. The rest are all special summons that are reliant on that normal summon working out. So if you
Right.
go first and set that up, that's literally what I saw the Evil Eye player in one of the matches against Karakuri. He set up Evil Eye defeat, and then he used it and then activated the effect to bring it back from the grave, add it to hand, set it again, used it again, and just kept going back and forth. And the Karakuri player just never established a board, and that's how he lost. So
Now,
very
I do
interesting deck.
see one monstrosity on there that maybe should be just scrubbed from the tournament altogether. Super Heavy Samurai Kristrons. Were you able to watch that at all? Or is that just Kristrons with some super heavy
Oh
boss
my!
monsters in there?
So, oh my God! So it was Kristrons. But then he summoned the Stealth Ninja, which is normal. You see Stealth Ninja and Kristrons, you know. Obviously, you can't really use his effect because you're gonna have like impact and stuff in the graveyard. So you can't do that. So I thought that was fine. But then this man pulled out the Soul Shield, the green pickle,
The
and I
pickle.
was like, why do you have that? And then he had the Soul Piercer on top of that, and I was like, you're actually playing Crystron Super Heavy Samurai. And yeah, super heavies, man, they're not an archetype that can be mixed with other archetypes unless that archetype does not play any spell or traps, because otherwise you can't use half your deck's abilities. I don't know.
So
It
I'm
was so
guessing
good.
I'm gonna switch graphics here to the top 32. Don't tell me. We're gonna go to top
Okay,
32. I'm gonna see if he made it into the top 32.
okay.
No, it is not there. So I'm thinking it does not
Yeah.
work.
No, it's cute. And but like the moment you send any spell or trap into your grave, it's GG's at that point.
Okay. It does look like
So
the Grass Shiranui player made it into the top 32, so
yeah,
yay.
I believe they fell in top 32, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, and then Weather Painters, there you go, Magician Girl, Stromberg. These are the decks we love to watch in these tournaments.
I actually learned that chat doesn't like watching weather painters,
Oh, yeah.
which
Yeah.
sucks because I love watching weather painters.
Well, Weather Painters won Battle Phase Sunday.
They did. Weather painters are. It's interesting because it's kind of like I kind of relate it to Metaphys of days old when Metaphys was kind of in the rogue meta status.
Right.
Where it's like if you blitz it turn one, you're probably gonna lose, right? Like it's so weak. But like the moment turn two starts for the weather painter, it's just crazy the advantage they have, the cards that they had some. It's just your back row is almost useless against it. It's just crazy how much they kind of snowball on you. It's just that snowball starts like a little snowflake.
Right, and
That's
then
all.
going downhill, yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. But if and that deck is really interesting too. That's a deck I kind of want to keep my eye on when it comes to XCs. Obviously an archetype specific XCs would be amazing for it, but even if we don't get something like that, just like a good generic XCs could go very, very well into that deck.
All right, looking here, Blackwing's #1 representation into the top 32, followed by Element
Yeah,
Sabers and Christian. So this is stuff we're used to seeing.
pretty
Karakuri's
much.
the
Yeah.
new addition. They've been around for what, 3 weeks now?
Yeah, it's
About
already getting
that.
old.
Yeah. Dragoonides though says Sejro, and who else? Was that Lord of Scrubs or Night Fox?
I think it was Lord of Scrubs this time.
Okay. It's always one of those three
Yeah,
guys.
you're ready.
All right then. So why don't
I don't
we?
even look for Dragoon anymore. I just look for specific players and like, hey, that guy's here. Let's go watch
Right, you know
Dragoon.
exactly who it is every time.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't we take a look at some of the games in the top 8? We got some clips laying around, and we'll take a look at
Sure.
them. How's that sound?
Absolutely.
All right, so this is a top 8 match between Laliwa versus Sejro. So this is Laliwa playing Blackwings and Sejro playing his Dragoonides. This ends
Yeah.
up being a 2-0 for Blackwings.
Yeah, I mean, this is just when two OTK decks kind of go at each other. Whoever goes second is probably going to win. You see him; he tries to use the Lancia there to stop a CMO play. But I mean that it really doesn't matter when you just have all the monsters in your hand
Right.
to try and just kill the guy. So it's just there's not really too much to say into this matchup. The only thing that's really like really puts it overpowering to Blackwing side is they have Blackbird Close, which just shuts down Dragoonity in every way they try to play. Counter traps too good.
And then he
And yeah,
scoops. That was
he
it.
just scoops. Yeah, I believe game one he also went second, and that ultimately kind of came down on him.
Right.
So yeah, OTK decks, but one that has more defense than the other. Interesting to see peak performance kind of coming back for Blackwings. I guess with the kind of not death, but kind of less witchcrafters around overall. They don't feel the need to summon multiple Raikiris per town with level duplicate or level reduction rather, over and over. So that's been interesting to see.
I see Dragoonides. Is that mistaken arrest in his grave?
Yes, mistaken arrest.
Did we see
Or
that
I
come
don't
into
know if
play?
it was in his grave, but it was in his deck list. The only
Yeah,
thing
his
you can
deck
take
list.
a
Sorry,
risk
yeah.
here would be the Black Whirlwinds, and I believe both games Black Whirlwinds are relevant. The Blackwing player already had like his whole hand was already ready to take him out.
Okay.
So very unfortunate. That yeah, it's just bring Sphere Kuriboh. Oh, he does have Sphere Kuriboh. Oh, draw your Sphere Kuriboh then.
All right. Let's take a look at the next one. All right, so the next one is also in the top 8, and that is Magician versus Eduardo. Eduardo
Yeah.
playing the Blackwings, and then Magician playing. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the other way. Magician playing the Blackwings, Eduardo playing the Weather Painters.
Yeah, unfortunately too, because Blackwings are probably Weather Painter's worst matchup, probably, or maybe second worst matchup. Cyber Dragon is just ridiculous for this deck. It's so
Mm-hmm.
hard to do anything against it. But yeah, Weather Painters, we talked about a little bit earlier. If you blitz them too fast, they're way too fragile to do anything. It doesn't help that his opponent literally, I think, opened double Cosmic in both games, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So really, really unlucky. The problem with Weather Painters is they use at least 2 of their spell and trap zones to set up their really good spell and traps, which usually means they only have 1 actual trap to disrupt. And Blackwings are designed to have multiple ways, like they have Simone into normal summon, into just black, whirlwind, into special summons. Like, they have multiple ways to work around disruption. So it's really difficult for a Weather Painter deck to actually get past that. On top of that, even if you were to set 2 cards, then your board just wouldn't be prepared for the win condition of Weather Painters, and you'll be so delayed that Blackwing just need a single turn to kind of overrun you. You do see here that you use Poisonous Winds. Twitch chat was memeing on him about using Poisonous Wind, but the thing that people forget is this individual was using Balance, was not using the castle. So if you're using Balance and you main deck Necro Valley, well, Necro Valley doesn't do much against Blackwings, at least not enough for you. Like, it's just Hawk Joe, right? And like the Zephyros, but like you won't get to a point where that's relevant. You're gonna die away before then. So instead, he plays the Poisonous Winds, which was his side deck against Ritual Beast or anything like that. And then you're going to draw it because of Balance, right? You have a pretty good chance to draw it. And now your Thunder is a starter. You can use your Thunder, take the Poisonous Wind, bring out a spell or trap for Weather Painters. Unfortunately, he had double Cosmic, so it didn't even matter in that situation.
They always start double Cosmic.
Yeah, basically against this guy, basically it wasn't even close. He just double Cosmic. All right, I win.
Oh, it's just terrible too, because they're such a, like you're saying, such a slow control deck, and they just take a few turns to set up, and Blackwings will not give you that opportunity.
They really won't. And that's crazy with the Blackwings too, especially with Raikiri. It's so crazy because if you're able just to survive that turn, because I've seen some people play like Hollow Life Barrier, for example, and Weather Painters, and they just survive that turn. And then the following turn, they're like, all right, now to swing into your extra deck monsters, send them back to your deck, and you have nothing left to hit me with. It's just surviving that initial turn is so brutal with this deck.
Yeah, what we saw, I think, was this tournament went pretty quick once we got to the top 32, because a lot of these matches were like what you saw.
Yeah.
They're lasting less than a minute per round here.
At one point, we literally had Blackwing versus Blackwing, so.
Right. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, here we go. This is top 4 action between Magician and Liawa. It was a Blackwing mirror.
Yeah, it may be a bold thing to say, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it's on everyone's mind. Blackwing is definitely better than Blackwing. So there you go, boys.
Wow. Going out on a limb here. You heard it first, folks.
Yeah, I mean, what's there to say? It's just go second and win. The only thing really to say is double mountain, which means your Gale can search Zephyros. So that's cool, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. That's really all there is. It literally was just go second, win the match. And yeah, I mean, obviously opening Gale against someone who doesn't just opens, I think he opened like double whirlwind into Samoa or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but it was just like ridiculous. We just got to a point where we saw the second whirlwind on stream, and then we were like, all right, boys, we've got your top 4 or your top 2 match ready.
Right.
It's like everyone just tuned out. They're like, all right, the game's done. So
I always wonder why this is why they haven't done anything with this deck. I mean, especially like Whirlwind. I know it's a UR or whatever, but it's just like they could just keep summoning and summoning and summoning and summoning,
Clearly, Blackwings at full power is a little bit faster than most decks in the game. So, I don't know.
But why aren't we seeing it just being the dominant deck then?
it's just kind of fragile. And obviously, so many things are nerfed on it. You've got the Raikiri is limited, the Orochi is limited, and then of course if they play Cosmic like this guy, that's also limited. So it's just kind of Konami's just kind of shrunk them down, so they're always kind of glass cannony. Because it was the most dominant deck when it was playing TTH and True Nade and stuff like that. It was kind of like, holy mother of God, what is happening? Konami, stop! What did you do? So, yeah, I don't know, man. And plus, of course, Disruption and Back Row and Element Sabers are all like natural counters to the deck. Obviously, if you can't actually it doesn't matter how much you can summon if you are clogged and can't synchro. And if those decks are always kind of in the meta, then Blackwing will never rise. That's why you're kind of seeing a little bit of a Blackwing rise right now, actually, funny enough, because Karakuri is here, kind of putting some decks in, like Witchcrafter in their places. So that means Element Saber's kind of coming back, which means Blackwing's kind of coming back. It's just like a vicious cycle constantly.
Right. All right, here we are. This is game 1 of the finals. Game 2 is a shadow duel, so it wasn't as exciting to watch. You guys ended up watching a replay of it. So this is Johan versus Liao. Liao is obviously the Blackwings. Johan is the Witchcrafters.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys remember that 1 week of power rankings where it was like 60 points for Blackwing or something. It was pretty much when it was the full Witchcrafter meta. It's just a better deck versus Witchcrafter. So it was kind of crazy when we saw Witchcrafter on the other side of the bracket make it to the finals. We were like, ooh, Blackwing is going to have an easy, like from top 8, we were like, oh, yep, because Blackwing is going to go from Blackwing Weather Painters to Blackwing to Blackwing Witchcrafter. That's like 3 matches in a row where Blackwing is probably going to win the whole thing.
He's just like, oh, yes, thank you.
I know, he was probably like, yeah, and it doesn't help too that Johan actually didn't submit a side deck. He ran out of time, and I believe he just didn't get time to put one in. So he played the whole tournament. Hey, he got the top 2 with no side deck, but yeah,
that's an accomplishment,
That is an accomplishment. But yeah, ultimately come in against Blackwings, and yeah, it's just very hard. If they have Blackbird Close in hand, the moment you go to activate Veer effect or any effect for that matter, it's game. That's it. You just lose. So
my question is with Witchcrafters, when you go to side, what the hell do you take out? That deck has like so many different cards in it. How do you decide what you want to take out? I mean, look at that thing. It's a kitchen sink deck.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends on what if they take Lancia or other spells, Econ, stuff like that. You just take whatever text out, for example, storms or stuff like that. Or of course, if you're going up against another Lightsworn deck, you just drop the grass is greener. You're like, don't need that.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just of course, it's also not the level duplication Blackwing, which is the version kind of most preferred against Witchcrafter, but it is a Necro Valley version, which is still Necro Valley versus Witchcrafter. So, and I believe this Witchcrafter, yeah, he only has Galaxy Cyclone, which you can't banish from the graveyard, so you can't do much against that at that point. But yeah, I think he might have gotten Blackbird closed. One of the games he got Blackbird closed, and yeah, if they have Blackbird closed, it's pretty much game. Like you really just can't do anything against Blackbird close. And Blackbird close is an interesting card because it's also like you can't really play around it necessarily until it's too late. By the time it's there, because like if like Witchcrafter, for example, you just have to kind of play into it and hope they don't have it. There's no alternative, it's not like I'm not going to activate my Veer effect to negate your effects. If I don't do that, my Veer is dead to your Raikiri. So I have to activate it, and if you have it, you have it. It's as simple as that. If you have it, you win, man. Good job.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Not the most exciting game. I'm pretty sure you have Blackbird close here. I'm actually interested to see. Let's see if it happens if you Blackbird closes the Veer. I'm like 99% sure that's what happened in this duel. Because I also believe he didn't even. Oh, that's right. He Gale effect, and then Gale effect again because he didn't stop it, and then he put him into attack mode, and then he did something else. I think he just. I don't remember, to be honest now.
Yeah. It always amazes me how long it takes a Blackwing player to make their turn. I mean, you're only doing like 5 different things. Let's move it along here.
Well, sometimes you gotta. It's not you, it's the other person. Let's see. So he's going in for the Raikiri right now. Negate Blackbird close one time. Huh? Oh no, I remember what happens. So he goes Orochi, and then he goes Hawk Joe. And then brings back the Raikiri and stuff like that. And his just double gales him. Orochi puts him in attack mode. And from then it's like a 250 attack Veer that ends up getting Raikiri destroyed anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, GG's.
Well, that's the big thing. Like, you can negate the stuff that's on the field, but then they just keep
Yeah,
synchro summoning, and
yeah,
then
you just keep going. Okay, you've dealt with one of my 20 monsters. Yeah. Oh no, it was Ancient Pixie Dragon that took him out.
there you go.
Oh my god. Yeah, just for the memes, I think he also goes for a Gale and then goes for the Ancient Pixie Dragon into kill. I mean, this duel ended like 3 cards ago.
Right, but he just keeps going, just keeps
Yeah.
going.
He's not even like remotely close to being done. Now he goes Zephyros into Gale, into Gale Effect.
This is the stop. He's already dead.
That's literally what people were saying in chat. If the chat was pulled up, he gets to draw a card with the Pixie Dragon, summons. He already had it in hand. The Gale, activate Gale again. Synchro Shokan.
Yep. Right now, I can see the chat. They're saying bullying bullying the lollies. Stop. He's already dead. He's already dead.
He just gives up. He's like, all right, dude. I get it. Okay, I get it. You don't want to just win. You want to crush my soul, make me admit defeat, and say you're a better player. I'm out. I'm done.
Okay, I give up. I give up. Yeah.
It wasn't even close. Like it just was not close whatsoever.
All right, so moving along. I always say predictions for next week, but it's really predictions for tomorrow and the next day and the next day. I just think we're in a holding pattern right now, right?
Yeah, the only thing that's kind of on everyone's mind is KC Cup. But this is going to be one of those throwaway KC Cups. I feel, obviously you still get the rewards for being KC Cup, higher chance of going to Worlds, all that stuff, all that jazz. But ultimately, KC Cup and then New World, right? And then as soon as the New World hits, everyone's going to come flooding back into the game. Hopefully the meta shifts, maybe not right away, but as within the first 3-4 months, it will shift, guaranteed, boys. So that's pretty much what everyone's waiting for at this point. We'll see.
That's all we're waiting for.
Yeah.
You're waiting for it. We're waiting for it. And we can't wait. It's only as we're recording right now, 2 weeks away. So.
Yeah, and we'll have to see too if Karakuri destroys KC Cup, and then Xyz comes out and it's not that great, and then it's like, okay, Karakuri might end up being one of the better decks to invest for the near future.
Every deck is a good deck right now. It seems like.
It
seems like every time we do one of these, it's like Blackwings was the best. Oh, Blackwings. Witchcrafters this week. Oh, it's Witchcrafters at the top.
Yeah.
Every
Well,
week
it's Duel Links is kind of showing how limited it is when you only have 4,000 life points. That's all you got to do. Just inflict 4,000, you win.
Right.
Not that hard sometimes.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get out of here. I hope you guys like the Battle Phase Rewind series, and if you do, and you want to join, all you have to do is get in the Discord because that's where we host all of our tournaments, and they're always free to join. So make sure to check that out. We're going to get out of here. I'm Circus. That's right.
Bye, dude.
See you later.